Now I'd like to show you how to make a template. So you take your plate, place it in the center of your piece of paper. You're simply going to draw around your plate. Okay, so you know this is where your plate is always going to go. And this is 2 inches, so really convenient. You can just line that up, draw a little bit over mark. And there's your template. So you'll be able to then put your plate on here, the same location every time. And you'll also be able to put a piece of paper and line that paper up. Tear your paper if you need to, if you already have it torn down. Pick out what you want and put it in the water. Notice there is some other paper in here. If my paper was very similar in size, I want to make sure that I had my initials on mine. Vinegar solution. Wipe that off. Get your template, plastic, put those on the press. Materials for printing. Go over here. Simple green. Choose whatever color ink you'd like. Go with Portland black and do raw sienna. Printing 2 different plates. This is going to be black, this one's going to be raw sienna. In. Squeeze it together, move it around, loosen it up. When you use this for wiping, you want to make sure that you have a pad like this. You're going to be wiping your plate. So when you're going to ink your plate, first of all, to open up the ink, simply take it on both sides and lift up. Go all the way around, keeping the ink flat. You'll notice the consistency of these 2 inks quite different. This is going to be quite a bit more transparent. This ink is more opaque. Okay, I'm going to ink this plate. So take your card, a little bit of ink on it, and I'm going to put a very thin layer to cover the entire surface of your plate. To make sure that you don't have any areas that do not have ink on. Those areas will not print if you don't have any ink on those areas. So even if it's an area that doesn't have any line work, you want to make sure that, especially with the first print, you cover the entire surface. Next step, take your charlatan, make sure that it's bunched up but has a surface that is good for wiping. You want to wipe in a circular motion. So by doing that, you work all of the ink into all of the little grooves. All of the etched lines then get inked. You'll notice when I'm wiping this, I'm moving all the way around the plate and wiping all the way over the edge. It's very easy to over-wipe the center and forget about wiping the edge. Make sure that you wipe the center and the edge consistently and keep it as even as you can. At about this point, I will switch to phone book. That's going to take off the last little bit of ink. And also we'll work any ink into the grooves a little bit more. Using a flat hand to take off an even amount of ink. You can start to feel once the ink no longer is pulling on the paper. You don't want to overwipe. If you remove too much ink, you'll have an area in your print that's too light. Now, this is looking pretty good. You can tell in this area, it still isn't wiped enough. There's still a little bit of foggy cloudiness going on. Just wipe that a little bit more. Same with this. Still a little bit too much ink on there, so I'm gonna really focus and now I'm really going to focus on the edge just to make sure that it doesn't have that dark ring all the way around. This is looking good. Okay, I'm going to wipe the edge. So take a rag. I like to dip a little bit of Gamsol on the rag, just a little bit, and wipe that edge. If I didn't wipe that edge, that's going to go on your paper. Okay, again, still, there's quite a bit of ink on there. You want to make sure that you're not wiping the face of the plate, but you're wiping only the edge. Okay, and there's still a little bit on there. At this point, I would turn it, wipe this again. Now, okay, this is a really good example. I used too much Gamsol. You can see there's a little line, a dark line right there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to just use a little bit of a dry rag. And I'm going to take my phone book paper again. Just feather that area in. And we'll see how that prints. Actually, I'm going to take this rag, it's clean and dry. Just see this edge right here?
Right. Yep.
That's where it went over. So. There we go. Okay. Here, put it on your template. When you put it on the template, I usually put it on the top first, lower it slowly, and then drop it. Okay. At this point, I remove my gloves. I take the plastic and adjust the plastic on the template. That way, I don't have to use my fingers to adjust the plate. Okay, that looks good. I'll move this whole thing up just a little bit. This is the paper area. Area to soak your paper. Area to blot your paper. So I'm going to take one sheet. Let it drip off. bring it over here. Place it on the towel, cover it up, make sure it's flat. Take the roller and blot your paper. Now at this point, I look at it because I can tell whichever side looks like it has more of a mechanical weave is the back, which is that side. On the template right here, make sure your paper is on the mark. Just drop it down. Blankets go on top.